It's Bob Frizzell, and I'm going to continue the talk I was talking the other night about when I was standing outside in the corner, getting very cold. So, in that one, we talked a lot about what do you do if society says you can't have something that you want? Or society says you can't have something that you want because other people have had this and they've ended up in ruining their lives. So we're going to prevent everyone ruining their lives by making it illegal. So that's what we talked about in the other talk. And I said at one point I would talk about something um, in the other side of the street. What about when it's something you feel you're addicted to, but you don't want to have it? Something that it doesn't matter what society says, they don't say anything about it, but for you, you don't want it, but you feel addicted to it. So there is something that is making this addiction to this thing happen. And what I was saying in the last talk was it is some kind of an emotional charge on this thing. And how do you take the emotional charge off this thing so you don't feel like you're addicted to it? You have got to basically do it and see what the emotion is. And how do you get rid of an emotion? Osho said, just keep doing it over and over again until you get uh, whatever the emotion is. It just becomes, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. In his case, he was talking about people who had immense sex drives. And they would say to him, what can we do about it? I mean, I don't really want to be doing sex all the time, but every time I turn around, I'm horny. And Osho said, well, you just have to burn out this desire. So just go and keep having sex and keep having sex and keep having sex and keep sex. Sooner or later, you will find you no longer want this. So, in essence, he said, just realize that this is going to be there, tempting you all the time until you do it enough times. The temptation is going to go away. Can't I just take a pill instead of having all this sex? Can't I have something that, removes my horniness or something? That's what we all want to do. If we don't want something, it's not like, no, Osho, I really feel like I've got a sex addiction. You say, well, burn out the sex drive by just having no, sorry. I mean, maybe that'll work, but I don't want to spend 10 years following your direction. I'd rather be spending those 10 years doing something that I want to do, but I don't feel addicted to do. Well, that was his answer. My answer is you are stuck because we don't understand emotions. I can put them on the scale of human consciousness, and, according to what Dr. Hawkins came up with for where they are in the scale of human consciousness. And then you could buy his book, Transcending the Levels of Consciousness, to see what he says about each particular emotion and how transcending means how do you move away from it. I don't have anything original. I just keep referring to other people. You can see what Osho says. You can see what Dr. Ruth Westheimer used to be, a sex therapist on radio and television. You could see what Dr. Ruth said about it. It seems like as humans, we don't have a very good built-in index of information. You know, it's not like we have a dictionary or an encyclopedia in our mind that we can go and access and just look it up. I mean, I could use Google and see what, but then I'm going to spend the next 4 days looking at various articles, and I'm going to wonder, you know, somebody wrote this, but does this really work? It seems like we're right in a bind. It's basically everything we do is trial and error. You got to try it and see if it's going to work for you. I don't know why we're not born with an owner's manual. I mean, people have written owner's manuals after the fact. Do they work? I mean, you'll see somebody will say do this, and somebody will say do the exact opposite. What's the right thing for you to do? I don't know. I don't know. I'm supposed to be the expert. Why? Oh, I don't know. I just sound authoritative. Don't I sound like I've got authority? I know what I'm talking about. Or I'm talking quite often. I listen to myself. Oh, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. And then later on, after I've made the video, you know, I sit and usually I talk out loud and I say, what a piece of shit that was. How stupid was that? Someone says, do you wake up in the middle of the night and think about these things? No, but usually I'm really, someone says dismayed. Yes, very dismayed, because some people write about their dreams and they seem to have wonderful dreams. They meet interesting people, they learn things. They really have very interesting dreams. I have shitty dreams. I'm always going, what the fuck was up with that dream? Night after night, I wake up and that was my dream. That's as good as it gets. I've read about other people's dreams and they have just wonderful dreams. And they meet their friends in dreams and they have like astral travel. Me, I have dumb dreams. Dumb, dumb, dumb dreams. It's like, that's the best. I don't know who makes up these dreams, but my dreams are really stupid. And sometimes they go on and on and on and on and on and on and on, and there's no point to them. But we don't understand the mind. We don't understand, I mean, dream interpretation. You wouldn't want to try and interpret my dreams. They're often very frustrating. Frustrating dreams. It's like I've lost something in a dream. I've lost something, and it keeps, you know, I've lost it. I've lost it. I spend all kinds of time in this dream knowing that I've lost something. And then I wake up and, oh, that thing that was so important to me that I lost in the dream. Oh, it was a dream thing, and the dream's over, and it was such a big deal. My dream wouldn't move forward. It was stuck because I lost this thing, and I wasn't even really looking for it. It was mostly just new images that keep coming up and then reminders, oh, by the way, you lost that thing. And it wasn't like in the dream I was even looking for the thing. It was like I just kept getting reminded, oh, you've lost this thing. And then I wake up and whatever it was that I've lost, if I can remember, it was like, who cares? You know, who cares? It was some leaves that I picked up off of someone's lawn in the fall, and then I lost the leaves. Who cares? There's plenty of leaves, you know, no big deal. But in the dream, it's like the dream stops, and then some other dumb things happen, and then I wake up and it's like, it was like all of the emotion that was coming around losing the leaves in the dream. There was so much emotion and so much like like dullness to it. It was like, and then I wake up and it was a dream. There were no leaves in the first place. It was in the dream. Here I woke up and I don't give a damn about the leaves. And then a few seconds later, I've forgotten what the dream was all about. And we spend all these times in our dreams. And then once in a while, it could be like years later, I'll remember a dream from years and years ago. Why? It's not relevant to my waking life. Yeah, I remember that dream, and I remember that dream, it was a half-assed dream, but now I'm remembering it again. Like, who's in charge of what things come to our mind from what, all of a sudden you're going for a walk and then you remember something from years ago, or somebody's name, somebody pops into your head. One of the things I was talking about in the last talk was Carlos Castaneda and Don Juan Matus. And Don Juan said it was very important to remember everything that ever happened to you in your whole life. And he said what you should do is you should spend a lot of time going like this, moving your head back and forth, and I guess trying to remember all of the people you ever met in your life. It's pretty much an impossible thing to do, but you got to do this and see if you can remember. And he called it recapitulation, because he said, if you can remember all of the things that ever happened to you in your life, you can find stuck energy. He said there was energy stuck in all of these, maybe not all, but in certain ones. I can't remember if he said all of these, but you have to search back through memories to see if there's some of your energy that's still trapped in your experiences in your past. If you can remember the people, you can get the energy back. And he said that for becoming a sorcerer that can really do magical things, you need a lot of energy. And humans lose energy in their interactions with others all the time. So that's why you got to do this and remember everyone who was in your past. So I sometimes wonder, that just came to me, maybe that's why I sometimes remember people from, public school or high school that I haven't seen in decades. And they come up, but I don't feel like, there's an energy stuck around remembering this person or this person's name. Sometimes it's a smile. It's like, oh, wow, I haven't thought of that person in, it's decades. And then there they are. And, sometimes it's like, it's so fresh. It's like, wow, that just seems like yesterday. The last time I saw them, or in this particular memory, it just seems like yesterday. Am I regaining energy from memorizing all these people? It's not memorizing, it's bringing them back, but I'm not actively bringing them back. But I think at one time, many years ago, because I read this from Carlos Castaneda and Don Juan Matus, I said, yeah, I should do that. Maybe I did this for a night or two. And so I wonder if the intention to do recapitulation is still active in me. It seems like it is, because these faces and names from so many years ago, either, wake up in the middle of the night and there's the name and there's the person. I can see them, what they look like, but I don't know what they look like today, but what they look like way back in school, way back when. It just seems like yesterday. So am I regaining energy from memorizing all? Like, why do I keep saying memorizing? It's remembering. This is what also drives me crazy. It's like I meant to say I remembered this person, but I've got memorizing coming out of my mouth. I go, that's not what I meant to say. So why did I say memorizing when I meant remembering? I don't have an answer. Why do we misspeak? I mean, the president always is, the spokesperson from the president always says, after the news is reported and they've gone, oh, he really made a big boob, and then the spokesperson comes in after and said the president misspoke himself. But I misspeak myself, so why can't the president misspeak himself? Because I do it, and I go, and I just caught that one, memorization versus remembering. I just caught that one when I said it. But I think sometimes what happens is later on, maybe you remember what you said. That's not what I meant to say. Or if you did a video like, what I'm doing now, and you watch the video again a year later, and you're going, I don't think that's what you meant to say. At least not now when I look back on it. So why did I say memorization? I don't know. Maybe it's the next topic. Memorization is what you did in school. You memorized a whole pile of facts so you could pass the test. Once the test was passed, did you ever use that information that was so important to jam into your head, cram for an exam? There were certain books that we read in English class. Were they really important? Because not every student read the same books. Different schools read different books. Different countries, you read different books, different curriculums. Memorization. Remembering sounds like I cut off my arm. My arm is a member, and remembering is getting a surgeon to reattach my arm. Remembering. Memorization. Memoir. Meme. Meme is in memory. Memory. This was something that I did. I probably talked about it some long time ago. And it was looking at the words to see what hidden words were in the word. And that was called literary criticism. And it was really talked about by this guy, Jacques Derrida. And he called this thing deconstruction. And he basically said that all the words that we use have got like hidden stories in them. Hidden stories in them. So you can break down words and find that there's other meanings in the word besides what we commonly use the word for. So there's like, I tell you a story, and then you get the story. But then if you go back and you start looking at some of the words that are in the story, you break them down, like believe. Do you believe this? But if you look in the middle of the word believe, there's the word lie in it, right in the middle. Believe means, I think it's true. But in the middle of believe, there's a lie. English spelling, it's just, it's just a history lesson, right? It's like, it's just the way we spell it. We were taught this is the way we spell it. And it's been like that for hundreds of years. That's the way you spell believe. Anyway, you can look into Derrida, and he did a lot of work. And if you're looking for secret meanings in words, that's what you can do, is to break them down. Look for, like, it's pretty obvious there's a lie in the middle of believe, but there's also anagrams. Anagrams are, you take the same letters, but you change the places of the letters. I don't have a good anagram, but you can look it up and see some things. But you